How is it going, my heroes, my villains, and everybody in between? Sean Ross here, and welcome back, guys, to my 100th chapter reaction to My Hero Academia.
Let's hear a plus ultra!
This right here is a plus ultra milestone, so you know the glasses are definitely needed. But this is crazy for me to even believe that I have reached 100 chapter reactions. Time sure does fly, but I definitely want to thank you guys for all of the support and for being on this MHA journey with me. You guys make this a lot of fun, and I am definitely looking forward to sharing 100 more chapter reactions with all of you guys. But speaking of chapter reactions, we are currently on manga chapter number 294, which is entitled Final Performance.
Shall I stake my life on my illusions? Entertaining others is the essence of magic. We shall perform the finale here.
Now that title definitely sounds like we are approaching the conclusion of this arc very soon. And considering what happened to Makia at the end of last chapter, that end is fastly approaching because the sedative has finally started to take effect and has taken Makia out.
Okay, big fella, you're gonna take a nice little snoozle.
And because of that, our villains no longer have a means of escape. So unless someone on the villain side decides to step up in this moment, the villains are going to get captured by the heroes, and our heroes are going to get a very hollow victory after all of the plus chaos. But deep down, I don't think it's going to be that easy. This arc is either going to end in tragedy or allow some way, shape, or form for our villains to escape this situation. And with a title like Final Performance, I don't know what that means for this chapter, but I am excited to find out. So, mount ladies and gentle criminals, without further ado, let's dive right into chapter 294. Yo! First page of the chapter, and we just see panel shots of all of our wounded pro heroes, with the first panel showing the deceased Crust, as we see him with the thumbs up and his gigantic All Might-like smile. Then right below him, we see our two amputees with My Girl Mirko as well as Aizawa being wheeled off by some medics. So they are finally getting some medical treatment along with Ryukyu and Gran Torino.
We have a lot of seriously injured people here. We need ambulances, quickly!
His pulse is dropping. Hurry.
Don't touch me, I'm sterile!
I would say take these four to the nearest hospital, but technically, it's been destroyed. That would have been Jakku, so the second nearest hospital, take these four to them, stat. And then we just see Rocklock and Manuel, looks like they're rushing back into the battlefield, as well as Present Mike, he's rushing somewhere, and then a shot of Hawks, unconscious, back at the villa. The fact that the sedative took effect here and now is surely no mere coincidence. Yo, double page spread right here, and there is a lot taking place on this page right now. But we have a panel shot showing an unconscious Mount Lady.
Oh no!
As well as Midnight.
Gotcha, bitch!
A few moments later.
She dead!
Is she unconscious or dead? Because we still don't know what happened to her, as well as many other pro heroes. And then we just see Endeavor falling back down to the ground after his Shoryuken fire punch to Makia, and then Deku just screaming in agony. Little by little, so many of us wore down the giant until he was weak enough for the drug to take hold. Even the thinnest threads can come together and braid a mighty rope. But had even a single thread frayed and come loose, all would have been lost. That I do believe.
Know my power!
Showing Best Genius with blood coming out of his nose, and then just this action shot of the battle still continuing, even though Makia is down for the count.
People tend to come apart at the seams in times like this. That's why we heroes must remain calm despite our fears. Don't let chaos tempt you into thoughtless overreaction. We have control. The Nomu are neutralized. Get the transports ready. There could be more of them. Be on your guard.
What Best Jeanist said is true. Everyone sacrificed their own lives in order to take this behemoth down, so don't let everyone's sacrifice be in vain. Fight on. As we see Ida and Nejire fighting back the high ends, and then in the background, the fiery blaze that is Toya and Shoto. Oh, but Best Jeanist is trying to wrap up Toya again. You can see a thread of rope heading towards Toya, and Best Jeanist with his hand up, and now, one final push. Oh, we go over to my boy Mirio, as he's phasing through this high-end Nomu's punch, and decking it right in the face.
Watch this! An ultimate move! Blinder touch eyeball crush! I've discovered that most people try to launch a counterattack just like you did. So naturally, I'm trained to work around such moves. Nice try, though.
This Nomu is not going to be able to touch Mirio, as that punch, look at the smash. All of the rocks and debris flying into the air just from the power of this Nomu.
Behold.
And look at like the armor it has. The bone armor on it. This Nomu looking badass. And then Mirio just phasing through the debris. No wonder the heroes over there are having a tough time. The move these things make are simple, but their speed and toughness are off the charts. Each one's gotta be just as strong as the Nomu in Kyushu. You don't want to get tagged by these guys.
Which of you is strongest?
Really? So these near high ends are almost on the same level as Hood was. And Mirio, Ida, and Nejire are holding their own. That's interesting to take note of. Very interesting. And then we have Ida. Great explosion murder god. Dynamite! He's referring to Bakugo by his hero name. Ida's not bothered by it. He's like, okay, it's a long-ass name, but if that's what you want to be called, I'll call you by it. You must retreat. You're in no state to take a hit from these things. Gah! And we have Bakugo. Crap. There ain't a snappy comeback, 'cause he's right.
Did you catch that, Bakugo? Shut your mouth! I heard you, Four Eyes!
Anyhow, just gotta keep dodging so Jeanist is off their radar. At last, I can redirect the resources spent on restraining the giant toward the League of Villains. So Best Jeanist is loosening his grip on Makia and going after Dabi and the other League members, which makes sense. We saw the thread heading towards Toya. So now he's making them the top priority. And now we just see a close-up panel shot of Mr. Compress's mask. This tidy tie-up job prevents me from touching the cables. And without physical touch, I cannot activate my compress quirk. Such dire straits. And all I can do is tickle my own behind.
Butt scratcher!
So he can just touch his ass. That's all he can really do. He's constrained that much. The boss fares no better. You summoned us together, did you not? Told us to run amok, right? What are we supposed to think when even your act is cut short? This amounted to a trap.
It's a trap!
You still haven't destroyed a darn thing yet. It's just as our associate Spinner said. Like he said a few chapters back when he was waking Shigaraki up, you still haven't destroyed a darn thing, let's get things moving. Dabi, young Toya, and I have yet to achieve our dreams. And you see Dabi engulfed in flames, the threads burning up around him. You see Toga crying as she's running through the alleyways after her confrontation with Ochako. But Compress right here, this inner monologue from him, is he about to make a move right now?
Open your mind!
One last bow, and then the curtain falls.
Wait a minute. Is the title final performance referring to him?
Well, color me impressed.
That would make sense. He's a performer, he's an entertainer. The magician giving his final performance.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
I'm now worried.
Saddle up, Seabiscuit.
Yo, blackout bind. And Best Jeanist is just choking the shit out of Spinner, Compress, and Shigaraki right now.
Good. Now choke him. Choke the shit out of him.
Harder!
Whoa! What? Jesus, what?
Yo, it's a good thing they don't enjoy this, because then that would get awkward real quickly. Does our show end here? Spinner. LOL. I loved the league, and the dialogue bubble is in a heart.
Yes!
Oh my god, you could take that out of context in a way, especially with the face that Spinner is making right here.
Harder, Daddy!
Whoa!
Yeah!
A collection of warped minds who never bothered prying into each other's pasts. Just a band of egotists.
Help me!
That face on Spinner is ridiculous. Tomura is the key. The timing must be right, when the heroes are a bit farther and the Nomu are in optimal position. I shall buy you 5 seconds during which to rouse the boss. Every decent performance requires a good assistance. My dream, my blood-bound duty, the reason I'm here.
Look!
Yo! Did he just compress a chunk out of his body?
Damn!
He compressed his ass! Yo! He's taking chunks out of his body to escape from Best Jeanist's threads.
Do I need to say it?
I guess you could say this is a half-assed escape.
Well?
I know. Terrible pun, but it just had to be said because he is literally making a half-assed escape as he's just gouging out a piece of his body in order to break free from Best Jeanist's threads. And Best Jeanist notices what Compress is doing.
What?
Gouging out my own flesh gives my arm room to maneuver.
Hey!
And free use of my arm means I can do this. And there you go. He touches Spinner and Shigaraki, compresses them down into marbles, and grabs a hold of them. So the great escape artist is about to take form. He's going to escape with them, I'm guessing.
Apologies, but sleight of hand and escapology are my specialties, not combat.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Don't believe for a single moment that you're the only ones giving your lives for a cause. Well, ready for a taste of prime entertainment? And you just see Mr. Compress now broken free, just going boing, 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 jumping up Makia's back, escaping with Spinner and Shigaraki. And Lemillion, Ida, and Nejire notices them escaping. And we have Best Jeanist maiming his own body. Really? Nevertheless, that wound is fatal. You have no hope of escaping. And he is using Compress's clothes to contain him.
I'm naked!
We're going streaking!
He's using all of those fibers to just constrict him, to keep him from moving. Bound by my own clothing, however, bound or not, so long as my hands is in position and he grabs his clothing. So he's just compressing his clothes. Yo, there he is! My boy Skeptic. I have been wondering where he has been these past couple of chapters. I even tweeted about it.
Have you seen this man?
Cooler weather, pal.
He has been stuck on Makia's back this entire time because he got caught and tangled up within the threads. I can make quick work of this. And Skeptic sees Compress coming his way and says, "Ah, you! Over here! You're running, right? Free me too then! And compresses him as well and releases him from the tight grip and now has Skeptic's marble. Daring escapes and deception are my forte, which means I'm the man who will save our team from certain doom. But he is bleeding out of his mouth now.
Hello there.
Oji Harima!
What?
The peerless thief!
What the fuck?
A criminal from days gone by.
Of course, one must not forget the legendary All for One, Destro, the commander of the Meta Liberation Army, and the peerless thief, Oji Harima. These so-called villains have likewise found a notoriety that will ensure their names are never forgotten.
Just when the current system began settling into place, Harima targeted the fattened pockets of sham heroes. He preached reformation while returning what he pilfered back to the streets. Listen, Atsuhiro, our family's lineage is all about exposing injustice. That righteous blood runs in our veins. There you go. Yo. So Mr. Compress is related to Oji Harima.
That actually makes sense.
And that makes sense though, because of what he said a few chapters back about a unique bloodline, how Dabi wasn't the only one. My word, another with quite the bloodline.
He said, wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
What does Compress mean by that? Is he talking about himself in this moment?
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
He was referring to himself in that moment when Dabi revealed himself to be a Todoroki. Yo. And to think, we really haven't been referenced Oji Harima since Gentle. It's been a long time. But it's nice to have that confirmation. He is related to Oji Harima.
Meanwhile, back at the plot...
You can't compete with me in terms of power output.
And now we are just cutting away from that and going over to the firefight in the sky between the two brothers as Shoto, who is just smoking and steaming right here, screaming, Toya! Flash Fire Fist. Sorry about this, Shoto. Change of plans. Jet Burn.
Flash Fire Fist! Jet Burn!
Poor little Shoto Todoroki.
Dabi just used Flash Fire Fist Jet Burn on Shoto right here. Enji Todoroki isn't completely broken yet. If he passes out now, there's no point in going on with this little performance. Sorry, masterpiece. So, because Endeavor passed out, he's like, well, this isn't fun anymore. If Endeavor's not watching, I'm not gonna kill you right now. I want to see the look in Endeavor's eyes when I kill you. So, let's postpone this to a later date.
Get over here!
To me, Dabi. And so Dabi Toya is rushing over to Compress. And Compress forms Dabi into a marble. Harima, the reformation that you could not achieve, I now hand off to my boss. I am Harima's great-great-grandson. The Bandit King's blood flows through me. Okay, so he's the great-great-grandson of Harima. So Harima is long dead by this point. So was Harima around during the time of All for One? Like the first generation of Quark users? Is that how far back Harima goes? The Paranormal Liberation Fronts? No. The League of Villains Shigaraki will change the world in my stead. What's that, you say? You barely noticed me. And he has taken off the mask. We're getting a Compress face reveal? All part of the act. It's all for the ta-da moment.
But allow me to explain a basic tenet of magic. If I'm flaunting something shiny, it's because there's something else I don't want you to see.
Oh no, he's hot!
Well, color me impressed.
And before you ask, yes! This is a JoJo reference!
Yo, there it is! Double page spread, and we have the face reveal of Mr. Compress.
Behold.
And I gotta say, he's pretty good looking underneath the mask.
Oh, my sweet Jesus.
That's rad.
Clothe yourself before you give this old man a heart attack.
Despite the blood and the chunk taken out of his side, Compress is a good looking dude. Not gonna lie. That the true trick is saved till the end. And he takes a bow, releasing Spinner and Shigaraki from their compressed state. Voila! The curtain rises on the first and final escape artist performance of Mr. Compress. And we see Mirio and a whole bunch of Best Geniuses threads moving in on them. But Shigaraki, is he about to wake up and do something right here?
Oh, no.
Yo, Compress, he stepped up in this moment. He has basically done nothing up until this point, which has basically been made fun of. It's been a joke, but in this moment, he stepped up and is saving the entire league in this moment by taking Dabi, Skeptic, Spinner, and Shigaraki out of here. Yo, that is the end of this chapter. Next chapter hits December 20th.
A little bit of misdirection. Forgive me. I do so adore a twist ending. One last bow, and then the curtain falls.
Yo, Mr. Compress stepped up big time in this week's chapter, and it is about damn time. Mr. Compress has not been this useful since the training camp arc. And it's kind of become a joke how useless he has been. I mean, he literally did nothing during the My Villain Academia arc, and Dabi called him out on it. And now the title of the chapter makes sense. Last performance of Mr. Compress. This is the first and final escape artist performance of Mr. Compress, which I am hoping we're not emphasizing the final escape, because I don't want Compress to sacrifice himself in this moment just yet. I mean, we just got his face reveal and just learned that he's related to Oji Harima, that he has a unique bloodline. I feel like we could still get some use out of Compress, but with the way that he's bleeding out and the way he took a chunk out of his body, it's not looking good for Compress. Like, he's going out in style, going out with a bang as the curtain rises on this final performance that he is currently producing. But what does he have planned? Because he released Spinner and Shigaraki in this last panel, and he told Spinner in 5 seconds, wake up Shigaraki. So what is he going to do? I can't see them using Decay right now because they're still on Makia. They're not going to destroy and kill the #1 asset that is Makia. So I am really curious to see what is about to go down. Yo, Compress stepping up. That's I did not expect. So with that, guys, that right there is my live reaction to chapter 294 of My Hero Academia. And what a way for me to celebrate my 100th reaction with Compress coming in clutch in this chapter. This was awesome. But for right now, I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on the events of this chapter. And what were your guys' thoughts on the reveals we got on Compress, both in looks and in lineage? And what plan do Compress and Spinner have in using Shigaraki in next chapter? And how many more chapters do we have until this arc comes to an end? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon that you guys can be alerted for every new MHA reaction that pops up on the channel. But if you guys want to talk about other things or talk about MHA outside of YouTube, feel free to also follow me over on Twitter. A link to my Twitter account can also be found in the description down below. That's going to do it for me here, guys. So until next week, when we have chapter 295 of My Hero Academia, I'll talk to you guys next time. But remember, go beyond plus ultra.